Welcome, lore enthusiasts. I'm your host, Tamrielic Stories, and welcome to Stories of the Scrolls. Today, we will discover the story of the 17 Daedric Princes. Our princes will be talked about on a surface level. The Daedric Princes, or Daedra Lords, or the Old Gods, are the most powerful of the Daedra. Before we begin, all Daedric Princes are genderless, but I will be referring to them as him or her by the appearance they usually take. For example, Sheogorath I will refer to as him, and Mira I will refer to as her. Azura, the Prince of Dusk and Dawn, also known as the Queen of the Night Sky. Her sphere is transition and change. Her realm of oblivion is called Moonshadow, a land of different colors blending together, cities of silver, and the air smells like perfume. Sounds like a good place. Azura usually chooses to appear as a woman to her worshippers. Azura can be summoned at the 21st of first seed at dusk or dawn at one of her shrines. Her Daedric artifact is the Star of Azura, an unlimited soul gem, and the Ring of Azura, a ring that the Nerevarine receives from Azura herself at the end of the main quest of the Elder Scrolls 3, Morrowind. Boethia, the Prince of Deceit, Conspiracy, Treachery, and Sedition. Their sphere is the unlawful overthrow of authority. Their realm is called the Attribution Share, a place of labyrinth-like policies and deceit at every turn. It is known that the realm is full of maze-like gardens, corridors, and twisted towers. The realm is also used to host the Tournament of the Ten Bloods, a contest where members of all 10 races are pitted against each other in a fight to the death. Whoever wins is given the title of Boethia's Chosen One and given the Daedric artifact Goldbrand, unique Daedric katana. The other artifacts of Boethia are the Ebony Mail, an ebony chestplate that deals poison damage to anyone who comes close, in Skyrim at least. The effects of the mail are different from game to game. The other artifact is Fearstruck, a mighty shield. The effects and properties of it are unknown, since it was destroyed during the Akaviri invasion in the late First Era. Clavicus Vile, the Daedric Prince of Power, Pacts, Bargains, and Trickery. His realm, the Fields of Regret, appear as an idyllic countryside, fields of clovers, nice woodland meadows, and some odd melted looking places for some reason or other. The air smells of both perfume and rotting flesh. While the sky is blue with cottony clouds, and greenish grey streaks stain the atmosphere in this realm. His artifacts are the Mask of Clavicus Vile, a mask with the vision of Clavicus, granting you better deals. We also have the Rueful Axe, a powerful axe who relieved the daughter of a man of her lycanthropy. Yeah, Clavicus gave a man an axe to kill his own daughter. The Bitter Cup is another artifact. The Bitter Cup is in fact just a cup, but if drank from it, it boosts the person's best ability. The Umbra Sword is the last artifact of Clavicus, but I can make a whole video about this artifact on its own. All I say about it now is that the sword is more trouble than it's worth. Hermaeus Mora, the Daedric Prince of Knowledge, Seer of the Unseen, Knower of the Unknown. God, even his name is difficult to say. We'll call him Hermie for the remainder of the video. The sphere of Hermie is the scrying of the tides of fate, of the past and the future. His Plane of Oblivion, Apocrypha, is a big library and a pool of ink. Well, I guess that's ink. The library is filled with Seekers and Lurkers, the horrible tentacled creations of Hermie himself. The creatures are the protectors of the forbidden knowledge that is kept in Apocrypha. The mage Morian Xanis travelled to this realm and his lust for knowledge was too great and he didn't return, so he might still be there. The artifacts of Hermie are the Black Books, tomes of esoteric knowledge, and the Argma Infinium, an ancient book written by the wizard Xerxes. It contains all kinds of knowledge revealed to Xerxes by Hermie himself. From Hermie to her scene, Daedric Prince of the Hunt and the father of man-beasts, also comically known as the Hungry Cat by the Khajiit. Hircine is interesting because he is not one of the Et Ada, so the original spirits. I'll make a video on the story of creation at some point. Anyway, Hircine is more of a spirit that came into existence later than the rest. Hircine has no sphere, but in his plane of oblivion, the hunting grounds, there's a constant, hunt, obviously. The hunting grounds is a place where the dead lycanthropes can hunt for all eternity. Malacath, Prince of Vengeance, the spurned and the ostracized, keeper of the sworn oath and the bloody curse. His plane of oblivion is called the Ash Pit, where all orcs go after death. Another interesting prince. Actually, he wasn't a Daedra to begin with. No, he was the divine Trinimac, who tried to stop the Chima, the ancestors of the Dark Elves, from leaving the Somerset Isles way back in the Merethic era, until Boethia stepped forward and consumed Trinimac, transforming him into malacath, and his followers into the orcs. Whether the consuming is literal or metaphorical, we don't know. It depends on which lawmaster you ask. Not that it matters, it's messed up on so many levels. Malacath's artifact is Volendrung, a mighty hammer that was originally crafted by the Dwemer, so the dwarves. But it eventually found its way into the hands of malacath. Maroons Dagon, Daedric Prince of Destruction, Revolution, Change, and Ambition. He's also the antagonist of the Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion, a red, four-armed demon wielding a great axe. His plane of oblivion is called the Deadlands, a place full of spiked towers, lava, and molten rocks with islands here and there. I guess it is the closest place to traditional hell that we can find. But in my opinion, there's a plane of oblivion that is even more like hell, but we'll get to that. The artifacts of Maroons Dagon are Maroon's Razor, a dagger that has the power to kill anything with one blow. The other artifact is the Mysterium Xarxes, a thick grey tome written by Dagon himself. It holds the power to create a portal to the pocket realm of oblivion called Paradise. Mephala, the web spinner, Daedric Prince of Lies, Sex, Murder, and Secrets. Her realm of oblivion is called the Spiral Skein, a realm shaped like a wheel with 8 spokes connecting the center with the outer ring, each spoke representing one of the spheres of Mephala. In the middle stands the Pillar Palace of Mephala. At least that is what the mortals call it, since its true name is said to be too awful to be uttered. The artifact of Mephala is the Ebony Blade, a katana that saps the life force of its target. It also has the nice side effect that it warps the mind of the user. Meridia, the Daedric Prince of Light. She, just as Malacath, was not always a Daedra. Meridia was formerly a member of the Magna Gi. She created her own realm bending the light of Magnus through some kind of lens, which resulted in her getting cast into oblivion. Speaking of her realm, it's called the Colored Rooms, yet other than the name, not much is known about it. Molag Bal, the Prince of Domination and the Enslavement of Mortals, Lord of Brutality, the creator of vampires and the King of Rape. Quite a reputation, and not undeserved. Molag Bal ruins the plane of oblivion called Cold Harbor. The place resembles Nirn, the planet that games take place on, but it's an apocalyptic version of it. The ground is sludge, the sky constantly burns, yet the air is freezing cold. It's in this place that mortals endure daily torture, but they are never able to die, all for the enjoyment of Molag Bal. Now about the title The King of Rape, that has everything to do with the story of the first vampire. Disclaimer, this story is disturbing. You have been warned. First vampire is the unwilling virgin called Lamay Beofag. Moloch Ball thought it proper to have his way with her by raping her to near death. Keep in mind she was a virgin. After the defilement, Moloch left a drop of his blood on Lamay's body. It's not specified where. When LeMay eventually awakened, still bloody from her encounter with Molag, she had been turned into the first vampire. Now, the artifact of Moloch Ball is his mace, the Mace of Molag Bal. The mace designed to not only break the bones of the opponent, but also break their spirit, allowing Molag Bal to take them to Cold Harbor and take their soul. This is the most messed up prince there is. The Mira, the Daedric Prince of dark and shadowy spirits. She is also called the Lady of Decay and is heavily associated with repulsive creatures such as slugs, insects, disease, and the horizonate legs, spiders, and all things mortals find to be repulsive, like cannibalism. The Mira's plane of oblivion is called the Scuttling Void, also known as the Dark Behind the World by the Khajiit. Very little is known about this realm, other than that no man, mer, or beast folk has ever gone to the Scuttling Void and returned. Not even Morian Xenos, mage who traveled through the realms of oblivion, could get into this mysterious realm. The only thing we do know is that it's a cold realm. It has grim forges and bent workbenches. The artifact of Mira is her ring, the Ring of Mira. This ring, when given to a person, makes them able to feed on dead bodies and eventually gain sustenance from it. This doesn't expand to Draugr though, since those are not freshly dead. Nocturnal, the Daedric Prince of night, darkness, shadows, and the patron deity for thieves. Nocturnal is a human woman in a hooded cloak that hides most of her body, but as you can see by the picture on screen, you can see a lot of her chest area. That's some serious side boob there. The realm of Nocturnal is called the Evergloam, a dark and foggy realm where the trees cast long and dark shadows. It's made up of a primary plane with sub-realms. Rumor has it that these sub-realms constantly change and everyone sees it differently. An interesting part of the Evergloam is Crow's Wood, where an intelligent race of talking crows live, known as the Black Feather Court. The artifacts of Nocturnal are the Bow of Shadows, the Eye of Nocturnal, the Great Cowl of Nocturnal, and the Skeleton Key. Periite, the Taskmaster, the Prince of Pestilence. Periite is charged with ordering the lower planes of oblivion. Despite Periite being depicted as a dragon, he is considered to be one of the weakest princes, but there's no real evidence of this. Periite's realm of oblivion is called the Pits, also known as the Pits of Periite. Nothing is known about the realm of first-hand encounters at least, so if to go off the words of other princes, but it's speculated to look like the Deadlands, so nothing too special. Periite's artifact is Spellbreaker, a powerful shield that repels both physical and magical attacks. The shield was originally made by the Dwemer, just like Volendrung, but somehow found its way into Periite's possession. Sanguine, one of the more fun princes to be around, the prince of hedonism, debauchery and indulgence. You can probably see why this is one of my favourite princes. Sanguine is often found on Tamriel in a bar, challenging people to a drinking game and then having the time of his life with his new drinking buddy. You can seek Sanguine out to indulge your deepest desires. Want to fornicate with multiple women, or men, or both, I don't judge, and Sanguine will provide, if you offer something in return of course. Pleasure isn't free sadly. Sanguine doesn't have a realm of oblivion, he has 1,000 to 100,000 pocket realms. The name for all the realms together is the Myriad Realms of Revelry. Sheogorath, the most entertaining prince of all. Uncle Sheo is the Daedric Prince of Madness, and Sheo himself is the craziest character in any game he's in. The realm of Uncle Sheo is the Shivering Isles, also known as the Madhouse. The place is split up into two parts, Mania and Dementia. Mania is the colourful side where art enthusiasts and insane revelers live. Dementia is the dark, ominous and horrific side. The people blessed with the darker blessings of Sheogorath live here. Mania and Dementia have their own gods that keep order in their respective sides. In Mania we have the Golden Saints, in Dementia we have the Dark Seducers. The artifact of Sheogorath is the Webberjack, a staff that shoots bolts of the Mad God's power, which has an unpredictable effect. It can kill someone, turn them into sweet rolls or mudcrab, it can heal your enemy, and give them benefits. Anything can happen when a Webberjack is used. Vermeena, from most entertaining prince to a dark prince. Vermeena, the Dream Weaver, prince of nightmares, psychological terror, torment, and dreams. Her plane of oblivion is called Quagmire, a place of constant lightning, where after every flash there is a different horrible version. There could be a dark castle, a moonlit foggy swamp, or even a casket where someone sees themselves being buried. The report on Quagmire from Morian Zenith is as follows. Every few minutes there was a flash of lightning, and reality shifted. Always something more horrible and horrifying. The artifact of Vermeena is the Skull of Corruption, a staff that when used shows the person it's used on his or her worst nightmare in a flash of pure terror. Jigalak, the 17th and final prince. Jigalak, the prince of order and logic, the most powerful prince. He has taken account of every detail of the world and of every action that has ever taken place on Mundus or Oblivion, long before they actually happened. He is so powerful that the other princes feared him and his power, so they transformed him into a being of pure chaos and insanity, the opposite of what he stands for. He was transformed into Sheogorath, so the hero of Kavach freed Jigalak to walk the void of oblivion, and the hero takes on the mantle of Sheogorath.